guys, we're back with Ferret's take 2 because it looked like he was picking on the OBS thing, but he's not, so it's good. How are you, Ferrets? How's things?
Pretty good.
You feeling a little bit accomplished, you were saying?
Yes, did some tweaking on my Twitch channel, added in a what you guys would call a VTuber, a model, but it's just a tiny little black little cat that sometimes freaks out because the tracking isn't all that great
Yeah.
from the face camera, but what can you do?
Yeah, but even Face Rig does that from time to time.
Yeah.
And we'll
And
probably
yep.
we'll add we'll add the animation and the animated cat to the live stream probably next week. I've got a bit on tonight, so I've got a mate that wants to go to the movies and stuff. So it's
Yeah.
yeah, and
It's a race against time, huh?
I've had about 4 hours sleep too, which is going to be interesting. Hey, here's an
lovely.
idea. Let's have 4 hours sleep and then let's go and try and do coding and get that done, and also go into the movies and sit in a dark room and try not to fall asleep. This is not going to work. But I've got to sleep. I've got to reset my sleeping pattern. So there's only one way to do it, and that's brute force. But yeah. So Ferris was just doing a stream, everybody, a little test stream. He was playing. What was that game you were playing?
It was called High Fleet.
High Fleet. Yeah, it's something Fleet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's kind of a old-ish game, give or take.
Yep. Cool. And you brought a bumper jacket, you were saying?
Yes, I bought the Nagarisai Zeus bomber jacket from CitizenCon.
What was the damage for that, if you don't mind me asking?
I bought a 3X because they said that you should have tried to buy a size larger because of like how the things are from the UK, I guess.
More like how they are from the little Chinese people in the sweatshops that make them, but yeah.
That too. For the size, for the 3X, that was about 135 US dollars.
That's not too bad.
Yeah.
For a jacket.
I forgot what it was mainly made out of. Polyester, I think.
Yeah, that's likely. Most jackets are.
Is that like a cotton feeling, or is that more like a silky feeling?
It's more like a silky thing, I think. To be honest.
Damn it! I fucking hate that feeling.
Yeah.
Damn it!
It's mostly what most jackets and stuff use on the inside for lining.
Okay, so basically what you're telling me is, when I get this jacket, I'm going to have to wear a long sleeve shirt underneath it.
What is?
Mainly because I absolutely hate the feeling of silk on my arms. It just gives me goosebumps, and I freaking hate it. Ugh.
Yeah, so polyester is categorized as a synthetic polymers characterized by ester functioning groups. So what does feel like? Polyester feels depending on how it's processed. Here's the most common textures: silky smooth. Many polyester fabrics are made to mimic the feel of silk or satin. So most likely that's what it's going to be.
You need to double check.
It's most likely going to be polyester because that's generally what they'll go through, and yeah.
A 98% polyester, 2% spandex.
Yeah. No. Yeah, it's been a productive week. Obviously, I've been working on the game. You've been doing your streams and buying bomber jackets and setting up cats. But hey, let's just jump straight into this.
Setting up cats? I'm not setting up cats.
Well, you set up the animation thing for it.
Yeah, which actually took me a second to figure that one out.
So you set it up.
Did I have to use YouTube and Chat GPT?
Oh boy.
in order to figure this out.
All right, let's jump into this. So, Star Wars Outlaws has come out.
Oh gosh, not that, please.
Yeah. So it's been out for a little while. It was released on the 22nd. Hang on, when did Star Wars Outlaw come out? Hang on. No, when was it out? So release date. I wish you looked up this earlier. It was released on 30th of August, right? So it's been out for a little while, right? But it sees a dismal player count in its first 24 hours on Steam. So it's just come out on Steam. So it was released on Xbox and PlayStation and probably Ubisoft's own platform, and now it's come out on Steam. So Star Wars Outlaws has debuted on Steam yesterday, and many were wondering if the troubled Ubisoft title would find its audience on PC. Turns out the answer is no. As of writing this, the Ubisoft admitted underperformed upon its debut has achieved a maximum of all-time concurrent players of a whopping 1,582 players.
I don't know. That sounds a little kind of a stretch right there.
It sounds really low. Dude, over 1,500 players and that's it? For a AAA game?
I mean...
That's bad, man. That is really bad.
Yeah, like,
Like, at the end of the day, like, yeah, okay, you'll always get the people that turn around and say, well, if people wanted to play it, they would have brought it on the PlayStation, or they would have brought it on Xbox, or they would have brought it through the Ubisoft store. So, these are not real numbers, right? That's going to be the argument that you're going to hear is that the reason why it's not performing on Steam is because if anyone wanted to buy it, they would have already brought it. But the problem is that we already know how it went when it came to Steam and Xbox, PlayStation, and all that. And according to Ubisoft themselves, it also underperformed on there as well. So, like, if they were banking on this being a Steam hit, like, I got news for you, and it's all bad. It's real bad.
So, just for a little
context,
just to add some assault into this room.
Mm-hmm.
Stalker 2 has a current player count of 43,551 according to Steam charts.
Yep.
And the all-time peak is 120,900.
Yep. Now, obviously, the argument will always be, well, look, Stalker 2, I don't think that's on Xbox or PlayStation, so people have to play it on Steam. But that's what I'm saying is like, even if your platform doesn't perform on Xbox or PlayStation, and then you put it on Steam, and then it doesn't perform there, I'm calling it now. Ubisoft is screwed.
Which is kind of a bad thing because I think Ubisoft, they do the Division games.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Well, what will most likely will happen...
I actually like playing those games.
Well, yeah, me too. Well, what will normally happen with this situation is that the assets will be sold off. If the company does go bankrupt, and we're a little bit away from that yet, so no rush. But if the company does go bankrupt, they will most likely sell off the assets, and someone else will buy the Division or whatever it may be. But they'll probably take the company private. Remember how we were talking about them going private a few months ago? Well, they'll probably most likely take the company private before then. But with the weekend coming, the numbers are expected to rise. However, it remains to be seen how much. So this was put out on the 22nd. So we've had the weekend since then. We do have an update. But yeah, at the end of the day, that's right, yeah. At all available metrics or public metrics indicates the game sales completely stagnated soon after the game was released. The game reportedly sold around 1 million units in its first month. Insider Gamers Grant Taylor Hall wrote that we have secured a current sales figure from sources close to the game, and at the time of writing, Star Wars Outlaws just racked over 1 million worldwide. So this is not good. This is bad. This game's probably cost 200 to 300 million to make, and they've sold 1 million copies, just over 1 million copies. I think I've seen figures saying it's up to anywhere from 1 million to 1.5. But you know, you're looking at a game that was $60. So $60 a game, times it by 1.5. Let's be generous. They've made $90 million. So they're anywhere from 110 to $210 million in the hole. So, yeah. It assures the public that the attempt was underway to improve the game's quality. Teams are fully mobilizing on implementing changes to enhance the game mechanics and overall polish, Ubisoft said. Since the launch, the team has developed 3 title updates focused on quality of life features and bug fixing. So since then, obviously we've had the weekend, and Star Wars Outlaws fails to hit 2,500 concurrent players in its first weekend on Steam. So you know how they're saying that, we got the weekend coming, we're expecting it to rise over the weekend. Well, it did, but it tapped out at 2,492. So, deeply unpopular Star Wars title failed to draw a massive PC audience from Steam, resulting in concurrent player counts in its debut weekend that fell short of 2,500 players worldwide. Now, like I say, yeah, you can sit there and claim that, well, you know, it's already sold, it's sold its copies before that, you know, like it was available on a PlayStation, Xbox, and all of that. It's like, but okay, but it only sold 1 million copies there. So, you know, like it doesn't seem like anyone is buying this game. What are your thoughts on this before we jump onto a sort of related topic?
I really don't have
No.
anything on this actually.
Like, dude, 2,500 players on Steam. What did you say Stalker was? 40,000?
43,000, give or take.
Yeah. So, would it surprise you that Ubisoft is now pressuring Steam to remove player count tracking after Star Wars flop? Nothing says, hey, our game is shit and it's suffering, like, hey, Steam, can you remove those player trackers? So even less transparency from the video game industry. I am shocked, I tell you. Shocked! Okay, maybe not that shocked. So a wild new rumour as leaked from insiders of the Fandom Pulse exposes Ubisoft's dissatisfaction with Valve and Steam for displaying concurrent player counts on its platform. Currently, this transparency is readily available to all through Steam tracking tool for third-party websites like SteamDB. The problem with it, well, it publicly embarrasses the platform of many of Ubisoft's titles, like Star Wars Outlaws, to gamers, journalists, and investors. Everyone, much to the company's dismay, can't have that now, can we? According to the insider, Ubisoft is now actively seeking to pressure Steam to discontinue its player count tracking. The the insider explained that the concern stems from Ubisoft's desire to control how much the game's platform metrics are presented, especially to investors. The insider alleges that the efforts here are tied to the underwhelming, to be kind, sale figures of Star Wars Outlaws, reportedly failing to reach 2 million copies sold, a massive shortfall of Ubisoft's own admission that the AAA game requires significant sales to recoup the cost of up to 4 to 5 million sales to break even. And which is basically what we estimated at that time when we sat down with ChatGPT and worked it out. During a recent interview at XDS24, Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed executive producer Marco Alex Cote reveals that the break-even point for many AAA titles falls between 8 to 12 million units. The reason I'm quoting 10 million copies kind of mark is from what I've seen of how I've seen costs, our costs, and costs of competitors. Everything links in our industry, so you have to privilege information on where the competition is going. But mostly I estimate that 10 million copies, give or take 2, is mostly what you need to break even, according to him. But yeah, you got to remember, like Black Myth Wukong had over 2,400 people playing it at like all-time peak. And they're flat out getting 1,000 or 2,000 or 2,500, depending on if it's a weekend. I don't know if Steam will actually go through and do this. Will actually bend the knee, or if they will actually sit there and just tell Ubisoft to go suck an egg. But yeah, I could totally imagine Ubisoft going through and asking Steam to remove player counts, because every YouTuber goes through and talks about player counts, and if we can't see them, well then it. By the way, also too, you got to remember this would also hurt sales. Like if you heard a game had less than 2,500 people playing it on the weekend, are you more or less likely to buy a game? Well, you're less likely, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially if it's an FPS shooter or something like Concord, where like they need players to verse shoot. Single player, it's not so bad. But at the end of the day, it still shows that the game is not that good, right? Or it just doesn't have a lot of marketing, maybe. But when it's a AAA game from Ubisoft and it's getting those sort of numbers, you got to sit there and wonder how shit this game really is. All right. Anything you want to add before we jump off to the next topic?
Nah.
Are you surprised that they want to go through and remove the player counts? Not really?
Well, not really, because their player counts suck.
Yeah, well, there's that too, right? Alright, second story for the day. We don't have a lot of stories, guys. It's probably going to be another short show. We do have an official trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Oh, boy.
Now, we're going to play it. We're going to watch it. And we'll go from there, I suppose.
Here we go. Showtime.
What is this den of madness?
Are you Detective Pikachu?
He does look like a Pokemon. Pika Pika.
Konichi, what? Get down!
It's time, Shadow. Finally, we will have our revenge.
But what good is a dastardly plot if you can't conspire with family?
There's 2 Eggmen now?
Double your villains, double your fun. Any last words?
Nice magic marble, real scary. That actually is real scary. Trick shot. Tom, Maddie, we need your help on a super... Knuckles, do you mind?
Oh, excuse me.
Tom, Maddie, we need your help on a super dangerous top secret mission.
When?
Are you ready?
We were born ready.
All right, boys, try and keep up.
Come on, Granddaddy-O. We've got
Dirt to do.
With shadows powered, we can rule humanity.
When we're done, there won't be anything left to rule.
That is dark.
Somebody better call Google Maps.
Life's all about the choices we make. Remember to listen to your heart. You're gonna make the right choice when it matters the most.
One hedgehog to another. Who does your highlights?
The more you talk, the harder I want to hit you.
This ends now.
Our destiny awaits. You were right about one thing. This ends now.
I presume you saw that.
Yes, two things. One, they blew up the moon,
Yes.
which means everyone's already dead because we need the moon.
Right. Well, yeah, movie. Yeah.
And two, Keanu Reeves.
What? I missed
He
that.
voices
Shadow.
Shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. It looks alright. Look, I was, when it was like the whole, like, the very start of it, when it was like this thing, I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. But what I was when they were in that club, I was like, what the fuck are they done? But no, it seems like it's alright. It seems like it's going to be fun. I did watch the first one. I don't remember if I watched the second. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's looks alright. Yeah, it's Sonic Hedgehog. Yeah, typical. But yeah, I don't know. It'll probably do well at the box office. I imagine, especially if it comes out for like Christmas and stuff. Kids will probably love to go and see it for holidays and stuff. So I don't know when it's been released. Memorial Day 2025. So yeah, there you go. So yeah, it'll be a holiday for Memorial Day in 2025. What are your thoughts? Do you like it? Don't like it?
I mean, I'm not a huge Sonic fan, but it did look pretty good, though. I'm probably not going to go and actually see it.
No. But if it's on Netflix or something like that, you might watch it.
Probably not.
No. I'll probably watch it if it's on like Netflix or something, or that sort of stuff. But yeah, at the end of the day, that's probably I'll probably tune in for that. But yeah, I don't know. My mate might want to go and see it. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah. Apart from that, anything else you want to add on the Sonic before we jump off to the next story?
No.
Real Game Awards will feature awards for gaming failures. So, Stuttering Craig's The Real Game Awards will both celebrate positive achievements in gaming and shine a light on some of the abysmal failures. Well, I know a game that's probably going to win an abysmal failure. While Jeff Keighley Coat and Tie Affair, the Game Awards, claims to represent gamers and give them a voice, it's actually anything but. The Star Starter Corporation-backed event doesn't actually speak for the gaming community at large. Nominees are decided by a committee of industry insiders from Shell Media like Polygon, ING and Variety. And despite Keighley claiming that players can vote on award winners, their votes only count for 10% of the results. A whopping 90% is determined by the same panel of journalists. That's what's caused Stuttering Craig, our side scrollers, to launch the Real Game Awards, a show designed to give gamers their voice back. But according to Craig X on X, the new show will do more than celebrate the positive achievements of the gamers players love. It will shine a spotlight on the abysmal failures and DEI disasters in the gaming industry. The former World of Warcraft lead Mark Kern, or aka Grumps, posted an edited photo on the Game Awards website with the parody category called DEI Slop Flop of the Year. The image lists Concord, Dustborn, Dragon Age of Valgard, and Star Wars The Outlaws, Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, and Unknown 9 Awakening. Each of these titles failed spectacularly this year and deserving of this hypothetical award. Craig responded to the post and noted that while Keighley would never do an award like this during his show, the Real Game Awards will have such a category for players to vote on. I said in another thread, but Jeff would never do this because he needs the industry acceptance for his work to show, or for his show to work. Craig said, we aren't afraid of asking for it. The Real Game Awards certainly will have plenty of awards focusing on how great games are, while most will certainly have several categories to showcase the something or other, the SHIT, including biggest industry failure, biggest cash grab, and something game of the year. I'm guessing it's shit show, something ass, S-ass? I don't know. Game of the year.
It could be shitty.
Shitty ass game of the year, maybe. Yeah. Unfortunately, Craig might be in danger if. Craig's show might be in danger if Keighley manages to get his way. The IMAX Fortune heir and longtime Access Media games journalist failed to copyright the Game Awards with the US Patent Office. If successful, Keighley would own the term, which means smaller independent creators wouldn't be able to use it in their title or description of the show. Keighley even went as far as to send an email to fans asking them to sign a document in support of the quest. It's unlikely Keighley will succeed as the US Patent Office safeguards in place against trademarking common terms, which was always my argument. While it's unknown whether Craig has anything to do with Keighley's attempted trademark, it's interesting that the host, after the event of the full decade, is now trying to lock the name down. I totally think it's because of Stone Craig's Game Awards. I think he's worried that people might think that his Stone Craig's is better, or might go to Stone Craig's thinking it's Keighley's. But yeah, at the end of the day, I've always had this problem with the Game Awards. The fact that only 10% of the vote actually goes towards, from the players. That is absolutely abysmal. And I think that these DEI slop of the year, I do think that, while I agree that this is DEI slop, I do think at the end of the day that removing the DEI from the title probably would be the best thing. Because I don't want people to think it's just DEI slop that gets nominated, right? I think it should be any game that fails spectacularly. So, any thoughts? Any questions? Any comments?
I would be upset if any of those failures actually managed to win some awards.
Well, this is the thing, right? If they're picked by the committee, it is entirely possible that they might actually, yeah. And it's funny, Star Wars we've already talked about. We're talking now about the awards, and we're about to start talking about Suicide Squad. We've got an article on Suicide Squad. These games, and by the way, we've also talked about Dragon Age in the past. We've talked about Concord. We've talked about Dustborn. We've talked about all these failures. They have been spectacular failures. So, yeah. Anything you want to add before we jump on?
No. We can continue.
Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. $100 deluxe edition is now on sale. Can you guess how much it's on sale for, Ferrets, without looking at the title?
normal sales are like 20 to 30%.
Right. So you think it's probably about $70, or $30 to $40?
75, 80.
Yeah. Would you believe for $5?
That's not much of a sale, is it?
No, you can buy it for $5.
Oh, you could buy the $100 pack for $5. Damn, that's one hell of a sale.
Yeah.
Still won't actually be make me a buyer though, because I think it's a waste of $5. But you know,
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, like, it's probably worth $5. Although,
probably not.
I don't know if you'd actually want to sit there and play it, but, it's probably worth about that. But yeah, so the massive bomb, Suicide Squad kills Justice League, which brought the antics of a narrative design firm, Sweet Baby Inc., into the light, has hit a new low, both in terms of failure and price. The Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League Deluxe Edition, originally posted for $100, is now currently on the Epic Store for just $5. So, set in the beloved Rocksteady Arkham verse, the Kill the Justice League is one of the most epic video games fails in history. It lost Warner Brothers an estimated $200 million because of cost of layoffs of Rocksteady. Suicide Squad, heavily influenced by Kimberly's Sweet Baby Inc., so much that the controversial narrative consulting firm had its own marked section for the game's end credit sequence. The Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, a digital deluxe edition, launched at a price of $100. It features Justice League outfits and squad for the squad, 3 notorious weapons, 4 weapon dolls, 1 battle pass, and 4 color swatches. So basically a whole bunch of shit. The $5 price point is only available on the Epic Store. Steam, PlayStation, Xbox still listed as $99.99. Additionally, the only digital edition is $5 on the Epic Store. The base version of the game is still listed as $69. So you can buy the digital deluxe edition for $5, or you can buy the base game for $69.99. This constitutes a whopping 95% off the original price, which is practically unheard of the game. It's not even a year old. But when you look at the current concurrent player count on Steam, you start to realize why it's essentially giving this game away. So, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League had an all-time player count of around 13,459 players on Steam 9 months ago, and the number was a laughing stock for the whole gaming world, rightfully so. But it's Woodstock compared to where the game sits now. As of writing, this game has a whopping 84 people playing worldwide. This is a AAA game that's less than a year old. Now, it's single player, I believe, but... Dude, AAA gaming is so bad. It's... In the last 24 hours, it's seen a peak of 117 as the title, as a live service game. The strategy seems to be dangling the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League Deluxe Edition in front of players at a low price with the intent of bringing them in and making money off them through microtransactions. But yeah, so Deluxe Edition on Unreal Engine or Unreal Marketplace is a whopping $5 for the deluxe only. What are your thoughts, Ferrets, on the cost? Would you would this be enough for you to go and buy it, or would you still be pass?
I wouldn't even pay the $5 for the pass. the deluxe edition.
Yeah. But yeah, I imagine that they're trying to aim for probably micro passes or microtransactions. But yeah, look, to be honest, gaming it's a cutthroat business, and funding your game it's it's a minefield. This is something that I am thinking about even at my games level. It's like, well, like, how do I go through and I fund this? You and I have talked about this in the past. Do I do a Star Citizen sort of thing? Or do I go through and sell the game to Ubisoft and, you know, have it rotted with DEI and all this sort of shit? You know, like, how do we go through and how do we raise that still $300 million to make this game? You know? Or do I sit here as a solo dev, sitting here making it and just plodding along and, you know, taking 10 or 15 years to make the game? You know? But, yeah. But I feel sorry for him in a way because, like I say, these people... I feel sorry for them, but I don't. Because at the end of the day, these people are obviously just wanting to go to work and make some money and they're just doing a job. But also, some of these people believe this DEI slop. So, you know, at the end of the... And to be honest, they could have called it out at any time, right? They could have sat there at a meeting and spoke up and said, wait, this is not going to work. So, you know. But, I don't know. What are your thoughts, Ferrets?
I don't think it's going to work either.
Yeah. But anyway, we'll see what happens, but we'll see, I suppose. Alright, let's jump into the Star Citizen stuff. So the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo is currently in and running at the moment. I have not had a chance to check it out. But Ferrets, have you been tracking this? Have you been monitoring this, or?
A little bit. I've had some ships that I bought, again, without credit, but nothing serious yet.
So the IAE Academy Expo. So the first one was Crusader for day one. Right, and that was numbered the 22nd to the 23rd. Now, I believe we went through and we had the C1, the Hercules, the E1, the Genesis. The Intrepid was on sale. By the way, I just want to say the Intrepid looks really nice, hey? I can't believe that's a starter ship. We got the Hercules, the Mercury, you know, all that sort of stuff. But to be honest, the newest sort of one that's out there was basically just the Intrepid, right? And then after that, we also had, on the same day, we had Tumblelander, and Tumbrel Land Systems. So, you know, at the end of the day, obviously, they just had their usual stuff. So, you know, like the Cyclone, you know, all that sort of stuff. The Nova, the Ranger is available for pre-order, blah, blah, blah. And then after that, on day 2, we had the Aegis Dynamics Aerospace or display. So that is on the 23rd to the 24th, which has been. And so that gave us the Avenger Stalker, the Avenger Titan, the Titan Renegade, the Warlock, the Eclipse, the Gladius, both variances, Hammerhead, the Idris P, the Javelin, the Nautilus, the Reclaimer, the Redeemer, the Retaliator, the Saber, the Comet, the Firebird, the Saber Peregrine, which I'm guessing is the drag racing variant. Yeah, it is. The Vanguard Hellbringer, Hoplite, the Sentinel, the Warden, the Vulcan, and then we're back to the Stalker. Then we had on day 3, we had the Mirai and the Misk, which is obviously, you know, like going through doing the Prospector and all that sort of stuff, the whole C, the whole A, all that sort of stuff. And then obviously the Mirai has a lot of the high performance ships, but obviously the Misk here is probably the better one. or the more important one, which obviously the Starlancer Max was on sale. Also, the Starlancer TAC was on sale. And then we also had the Gartec Manufacturer, which also was today, I believe, today and yesterday, which also contains the Upper, the Banyu, and the Espera. Now, tomorrow is Robert Space Industries. The 27th to the 28th is the Argo Astronautics, the Consolidated Outlander, the Grey Cat, and the Kreger Intergalactic. The 28th to 29th is Drake Interplanetary. Good to see Drake's actually in the lineup this year and not stuck to the back. And although I think it's always in the lineup for the aerospace, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only the other one where it's at the back. And the Origin is obviously on the 29th to the 30th. The 30th to the 1st is Anvil. And then we got the Best in Show on the 1st to the 2nd, the Grand Final on the 2nd to the 4th, and the Farewell from IAE on the 5th. Is there any surprises coming that we don't already know about? Is there any? There was talk about a ship, a gunboat coming out. Was that from RSI? Or no, that was from...
That's from Anvil.
Anvil, yeah. And that's on the 30th to the 1st. Yeah. Is that basically confirmed? Is that a confirmed leak, or is that just suspected?
It's confirmed.
It's confirmed, right. Do we have a sort of a price on what that might be, or
No price.
no? Any suspicions? Or
Pretty much think of a Valkyrie, but to chop it down a bit, but still as a chunky.
yeah, I kind of like the Valkyrie design actually, to be honest.
Yeah, it doesn't look like this one has the rotating like engines, though. That's the weird part.
Right.
And it has guns, but we just don't know how big or where at.
Right. Apart from that, we did get a PTU for 4.0. It is Wave 1, a PTU, long-term persistence enabled, server mission enabled, recovery is enabled, starting is $15 million. It's focusing on stability and bug fixes, server meshing, pyrostatin system, and the new locations, contested zones, and jump points. But yeah, at the end of the day, it is in Wave 1, which is basically what we expected. We expected that the Aero show would basically kick off, and then basically the 4.0 would go straight back into the PTU. Apart from that, anything else that we need to talk about?
No?
What are your thoughts on
I
the
don't think so.
IAE 2954?
Nothing really special in it yet. I mean, other than the Polaris.
So the Polaris is in-game?
Tomorrow. Wait,
Tomorrow,
I think
yeah.
it's tomorrow? Yeah, not tomorrow. That's when the servers will properly die.
Well, server meshing and that for 4.0 should help with a lot of that problem. Like I say, to be honest, I don't have time to play it at the moment. I want to jump in and play, but I am literally trying to work on my project, so it's just crazy. And I got a bug at the moment that's driving me nuts. It's casting failure, but anyway, it's not updating the XP. All right. Apart from that, anything else, Ferrets, that you want to talk about? Anything in the gaming industry that you can think of?
No, not yet.
You going to be streaming anytime soon, or you did test stream today?
Probably again later tonight as I do some Stalker 2.
Yep. Yeah, we're about to jump off here, so if you, yeah. But this video will be up in about 4 hours. So actually, probably even more than that, 5 or 6. So yeah, you would have streamed by then. I might tweet you out.
Probably.
I'll tweet you out. Alright guys, apart from that, obviously let us know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. Obviously if you guys are interested in what project I am working on, it is in the Discord. We are talking about it pretty openly. Concept art and all that is going up, so let us know your thoughts. Also if you do want to check out Ferretz's stream, it is obviously will be linked in the description below. Please do go give him a follow. Apart from that, anything else Ferretz we want to talk about or jump off? No.
Nope.
Alright everybody, let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Apart from that guys, the video's been helpful. Please smack that like button if you're new to the channel. Welcome and subscribe. Apart from that, you want to say bye Ferrets?
Goodbye.
Bye. Have a good night everybody and enjoy.